A prevailing assumption among most women is that sexiness undergoes a chronological fade, something relegated to their 30s or 40s, and by the sixth decade, it feels entirely disconnected from their current experience. But what if this ingrained belief is the primary factor inhibiting a renewed sense of vitality, desirability, and radiance? I can attest to a clinical observation. I have encountered women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who possess a palpable inner spark that commands attention, radiating a magnetic quality entirely independent of dermal tautness or body mass index. Conversely, I have also seen women prematurely withdraw from self-engagement, convinced that intimacy and attraction are past endowments. The salient question is not, am I still sexy after 60? The true inquiry is, what if sexiness was never defined by chronological age, but by an internal, adaptable state? That is the precise focus of our discussion today. Welcome back to the Female Health Podcast, where we delve into the questions that many women internalize but rarely articulate. My name is Dr. Lily Stones. I am a gynecologist and specialist in intimate health psychology with over 30 years of clinical experience guiding women to rediscover their spark, their self-confidence, and their joy in intimacy. Today, we will dissect one of the most vulnerable anxieties held by women over 60, the perceived loss of sexiness. I will guide you through 7 clinical and psychological secrets that can reintroduce that feeling, not in a conventional sense, but in a deeper, more powerfully sustainable manner. We will examine the physiological changes, the hormonal factors you cannot ignore. We will then transition into the cognitive domain, addressing the hidden shifts in self-perception and confidence. Finally, I will reveal the one overarching secret that patients describe as more potent than any topical cream, medication, or bedroom technique. It is the secret that integrates all the others. Without it, the rest is temporary. I urge you to stay engaged as over the next few minutes, you may begin to view your own sexiness through an entirely new lens. If you were to ask most women over 60 when they first noticed the attenuation of their sexiness, the answer frequently involves the mirror, the retides, waza wrinkles, the adipose redistribution around the waist, the altered fit of clothing, the diminished dermal radiance. Every smile leaves lines that linger. Every birthday serves as a reminder of temporal progression. In those quiet moments of reflection, a sense of estrangement from the mirrored image can occur. But here is the physiological truth most women fail to hear. The mirror is not the fundamental thief of sexiness. The mirror merely reflects the systemic changes occurring internally, and that internal narrative is largely orchestrated by your hormonal environment. Biological realities versus final script. When estrogen begins its decline, it affects more than the surface. It alters how your skin retains moisture. It shifts the topography of weight storage. It causes thinning of the delicate tissues that once facilitated easy and comfortable intimacy. And when testosterone also diminishes, libido itself can feel like it has been quietly switched off, leading to the distressing question of its permanent absence. This is the point where so many women enter a self-defeating spiral. They observe these biological changes and conclude that sexiness has been irrevocably stolen. But the real secret is this: biology dictates the stage, but it does not write the final script. The first step to feeling sexy again is not to antagonize your body or deny these changes. It is to acknowledge that the biology is real, but it is not definitive. When you comprehend the mechanisms behind the altered sensations and cease self-blame, you interrupt the cycle of shame. You stop thinking, I am broken, and begin realizing, my body is changing but I still have options. That cognitive shift alone is profoundly powerful. Removing the element of shame opens the door to therapeutic solutions that restore warmth, comfort, and a sense of vitality that may have been absent for years. I will detail these solutions in a moment. But before we proceed, I would appreciate your input. Have you ever viewed your reflection and experienced a rush of discouragement, feeling that the woman staring back does not align with your internal self-perception? Please leave a comment below and share what aspect of aging has most surprised you. You will find you are not alone, and your story may provide another woman with the courage to share her own. Stay with me, Because in the next section we will address the hidden spark still resident within your body. The one aspect biology provides that is almost universally overlooked, and why it represents the turning point in reclaiming sexiness. The hidden spark restoring physical comfort. Have you ever noticed that when something feels lost, the mind often defaults to concluding its permanent disappearance? That is how many women characterize their libido post-60. It feels like a switch has been turned off, and the sheer effort of reactivation feels futile. But what if that switch is not broken? What if it is merely awaiting the appropriate stimulus? Many women express surprise when I affirm that the body is not functionally depleted at this life stage. Even with hormonal shifts and altered energy dynamics, there are hidden reserves of vitality that are rarely discussed. For some, that spark is established by restoring comfort in intimacy. Imagine the absence of xerosis or dryness, the cessation of painful pulling or micro tears, the elimination of the need to avoid closeness because it feels like labor instead of pleasure. Instead, the body begins to acquire the memory of ease, warmth, softness, and natural glide. Once the body remembers, the mind follows. A woman who reclaims physical comfort simultaneously reclaims self-confidence. And confidence, as is well established, is one of the most inherently attractive qualities a woman can possess. Now, let me be explicitly honest. This spark rarely returns autonomously. Left to chance, discomfort often escalates. Intimacy becomes more challenging, and the discrepancy between your current state and your desired state widens. But with a targeted approach, this gap can be closed. Gentle, localized therapeutic options are available that target the affected tissues most directly. Some are hormone-based, others are non-hormonal. Their purpose is not to systemically alter your whole body chemistry. They simply nourish the cells that require support. When women utilize them, they frequently report the same observation. I did not realize I could feel like myself again. The mind as the director. Dispelling comparison, but here is the critical turning point. Even when the body is soothed, a larger cognitive layer remains untouched. Sexiness does not reside only in the body. It resides also in the mind. And that is where many women become psychologically trapped. You may experience physical improvement, but if your internal self-dialogue remains negative, libido cannot fully resurface. So, stay with me, because in a moment we will pivot to that second layer, the mind, and uncover how women post-60 can begin to perceive themselves as desirable again, even when they believe the feeling was irretrievably lost. Let us address the cognitive domain. If the body is the stage, the mind is the director. And when the director loses vision, the entire performance suffers. One of the most significant cognitive traps women fall into post-60 is comparison to a former self. The younger physique, the smoother skin, the effortless nature of past desire. The inherent problem with this comparison is that it is unwinnable. You are measuring yourself against a person who no longer exists, nor is she intended to. That is why I frame confidence in terms of ingredients in the chef. Each of us is given a set of ingredients: our face, body, age, health, and life experience. At 20, you worked with one set. At 60, the contents of the basket are different. The mistake many women make is wishing for the former basket. But here is the truth. Wishing never alters the ingredients. What changes the outcome is the skill of the chef. Sexiness at this stage is not about the pretense of being 25. It is about mastering the art of creating something richer, deeper, and more compelling with the resources available right now. And that is the genesis of confidence. Confidence is not about looking in the mirror and feeling instantaneous perfection. That is unrealistic. Confidence is about accepting the body you inhabit today, not the one from 3 decades ago, and then presenting yourself in that body with energy, presence, and self-respect. When you make peace with your ingredients, you cease engaging in unwinnable battles and start creating beauty within the life you actually possess. But you may be thinking, that sounds wonderful in theory, but I feel far from confident. I have spent years doubting myself, avoiding intimacy, and concealing perceived flaws. How can I suddenly feel sexy? That is the essential question. And here is where the next layer begins. Confidence does not exclusively grow from acceptance. It grows from action, From the small, deliberate daily choices that instill self-pride, even when unobserved by others. That is where magnetism is born. In a moment, I will illustrate how those small, behavioral choices construct an invisible attraction that people perceive even before you speak. It is something far more powerful than clothing or dermal appearance. Invisible magnetism. The power of reflection. There exists a form of attraction that is rarely discussed. It is not derived from cosmetics, attire, or body shape. It is something people feel when they are in your presence, and it can make a woman in her 60s or 70s appear more radiant than someone significantly younger. I term this invisible magnetism. Think of the individuals in your life who have drawn you in without verbal invitation. They were not necessarily the most glamorous, yet you felt compelled to lean closer, desiring to remain in their company. That is magnetism, and it originates in how you make others feel. When you listen attentively, when you pose questions with genuine curiosity, when you allow another person to feel significant in your presence, a remarkable psychological phenomenon occurs. They begin to perceive you differently. Their attraction to you intensifies even in non-romantic contexts, because you have activated one of the most powerful psychological forces known: reciprocal attraction. When an individual feels valued by you, they naturally increase their valuation of you in return. This is why I consistently remind women that sexiness is not only what you project outward, it is also what you reflect back. The sparkle in your eye during laughter, the warmth in your smile when someone shares a story, the courage to embrace vulnerability over a polished facade. These qualities do not just benefit others, they make you more magnetic, more desirable, more alive. Yet, magnetism is sensitive. If your internal self-criticism is constant, tearing down your reflection, asserting you are too old, too wrinkled, or too heavy, that negative energy permeates outward. Others sense it, even when you believe it is concealed. This is why invisible magnetism begins not only with how you treat others, but primarily with how you treat yourself. So, a thought experiment. Imagine two women your age entering a room. One has the perfect attire, immaculate hair, flawless makeup. The other is simpler, her style understated, but she is laughing, leaning into the conversation, her eyes alive, completely present with those around her. Which woman do you think others gravitate toward? Consistently, it is the woman who radiates connection, because connection is a form of beauty that is timeless. The exciting part is that you do not need to wait for external validation. You can practice it today by listening more closely, by laughing more freely, by daring to be open instead of guarded. Every time you do, you strengthen that invisible magnetism. Remember, this is not about becoming a new person. It is about uncovering what was always there, hidden beneath years of comparison, doubt, and silence. Reawakening intimate capacity, because when you begin to feel that spark of magnetism again, you start to notice something else stirring internally: the return of desire itself. And that is what we will explore next. Desire is a challenging phenomenon for many women past 60. It does not simply diminish, it can seem to vanish. It feels as though the appetite for intimacy has been switched off without warning, leaving you questioning its potential return. And the silence surrounding this can feel heavier than the problem itself. The truth is, most women do not discuss it. They do not inform their partners. They do not mention it to friends. And often, they do not even share it with their physicians. Instead, they carry the burden privately, assuming this is the inevitable reality of aging. But what if desire does not vanish? What if it is simply awaiting reactivation? Here is what many women fail to realize. Desire is not merely a mood that spontaneously appears. It is not only a response to external touch. Desire is also fundamentally physical. It is dependent on vascular flow, on active neural pathways, on tissues maintained vital through utilization. When these areas are neglected, they can become quiescent. That is why so many women feel their bodies no longer respond as they once did. But when you begin to reintroduce gentle stimulation, whether through pelvic floor exercises that enhance oxygen and blood flow, through the use of vibrators that reawaken nerves, or through mindfulness practices that reconnect the brain to the body, something begins to shift. Slowly, subtly, You start to feel flickers of sensation again. Warmth returns, tingling initiates, and with it, the possibility of desire. This is not about performance metrics. It is not about regressing to a past self. It is about affirming that intimacy, even at 60, 70, or 80, remains your birthright. Your body is not functionally concluded. Your capacity for pleasure has not expired. With small, consistent steps, you can reawaken what you believed was gone forever. The most beautiful outcome is this: when women start to feel this return of desire, it transforms far more than intimacy. It spills over into confidence, energy, and the very sparkle in your eyes that others cannot help but notice. But here is the ultimate key. Even with all these secrets, there is still one final piece missing. Without it, none of the other secrets truly endure. With it, everything else becomes more powerful, more sustainable, and more satisfying. And that is where we are heading next. The final secret inhabiting your current self. By now, you have witnessed how much sexiness involves more than just skin or shape. You've seen how biology can change, but does not have to define you. How confidence grows when you work with your current ingredients. How invisible magnetism creates a radiance that makeup cannot replicate. And how desire can be reawakened when you nurture it. But there is something even deeper that integrates all of this. And it is not a cream, a pill, or a single practice. It is a fundamental shift in self-perception at this stage of life. Here's the final truth: sexiness at 60 is not the pursuit of reclaiming who you used to be. It is the full, proud habitation of who you are right now. It is about standing in your own skin with your history, your wisdom, your curves, your laugh lines, and choosing to perceive that as desirable. Not as remnants of younger years, but as a richer, more complete version of womanhood that possesses its own beauty, its own flavor, its own power. The women who embody this truth move differently. They do not conceal themselves. They do not apologize for their age or their bodies. They lean into it. And that leaning in, that ownership, is what makes them magnetic in a way that no younger version of themselves could ever achieve. So, I wish to leave you with this final reflection. What makes you feel sexy right now at this age? Is it a moment of laughter that illuminates your entire face? Is it slipping into a dress that accents your body in just the right way? Is it sensing your partner's gaze linger for an extra second? Or is it as simple as walking past a mirror, smiling at yourself, and genuinely liking what you see? I would welcome your answer. Please leave a comment below and tell me what makes you feel sexy today. Because when you share your story, you not only reaffirm your own truth, you remind another woman that she can feel it too. If this conversation has resonated with you, I urge you to subscribe and join our community here at the Female Health Podcast. We address the questions most women carry but rarely ask. And every week, I will be here with new insights, new strategies, and renewed hope to keep your spark alive. So, do not click away yet. Take a deep breath, place your hand over your heart, and remind yourself your sexiness is not behind you. It is right here, waiting to be claimed.